Hello, this is Blue Noser Hoser with another deck profile. Today I have my Geargia deck for the NR format in Master Duel. I think this deck is surprisingly good, and not a lot of people are talking about it, so I wanted to make a video about it to explain it. The main reason I wanted to build this deck in the first place is I think the EMR is absurd, especially in combination with Bullet Train, this format. And I feel like this deck best utilizes it, where a lot of the other machine decks like Gadget or Infinitrack just aren't fully there. Like Infinitrack, a lot of the payoff just aren't rare, or like the rank 5's not in this format, or like Gadgets just aren't good in my opinion. Where a lot of these cards are really good at gaining card advantage and maintaining card advantage. So getting into it, you have 3 Geargia armor. It's the main starter of the deck. When you flip face up, you can add a Geargia monster from deck to hand, and then per turn you can flip him face down. So just every turn, he's a free card. He's kind of like Guru if you want to think about it that way. But just every turn, he just adds something. And he's 1900 defense, so in this format, he's like decently hard to clear. Then you have 3 Geargia Arsenal, which is just a lone fire blossom for Geargias. It summons it in defense, but when you're summoning this guy, like that hardly matters. He also gains 200 attack for each Geargia you control, including himself, so he just is 1700 to start out and can get a lot bigger. Then you have 3 Geargia Augur. When this guy's normal summon, you can add a level 4 Earth Machine from deck to hand, but you can't attack, and you can also only summon machines for the rest of the turn. But one card that you can add is Geargia Accelerator, which if you control Geargia, you can special this from hand to defense, and then if this card's sent from field to grave, you can add a Geargia from grave to hand. Keep in mind this misses timing, so if you link summon with it, it doesn't trigger, but it's just a free extender. So you can go like Augur, add this, and that's a free rank 4 machine, like Iron Wolf or Ouroboros. You can also make Anger Knuckle. But there's also quite a few other targets for it. Any of these. You also have Ancient Gear Box. When this guy's added from deck to hand, you can add any Earth Machine with 500 attack or defense. So you can add another Augur, you can add Arsenal, you can add Anchor Drill, or you can add MK2. Plus, it's just more cards that way. You have Augur going +1 by doing that, and then you go +2 by adding another card. Box also triggers when it's added from grave to hand, so it triggers when you add it back with Bullet Train. So there you go. Also, Planet Pathfinder randomly is just a level 4 Earth Machine. So we'll get into the generators a little bit later, but I think that's pretty decent. Then you have Geargiano MK2. And this guy's normal flip summon. You can summon a Geargia from hand or grave. If you have an Arsenal in grave, you can go MK2 revive this, and then Arsenal summon another MK2 for just a free rank 3. It's kind of like a tutor guide in that way. If you don't know Anchor Drill, if this guy's normal or special summoned, you can summon an Earth Machine from your hand. And then if you you can target another machine that you have, and then combine their levels. So if you have Drill target Arsenal, for example, 4 + 4 is 8, and then you can make a level 8, and then Earth Machine. Weird. So, boss stage. This may seem random in this deck, but there's quite a few interesting synergies. The main one being Pathfinder is a level 4 machine, but then you also have this guy, also an Earth Machine, and this guy doesn't have to summon generators from hand. It can also summon any machine, which solves the problem of a lot of these are normal summons. This guy has to be a normal summon, but you can summon a million machines from hand, so it helps you swarm the field in that way. And boss stage is just another starter card that doesn't really require a normal summon. Plus these cards are just absurd. This format, specifically this one, just banishing cards is insane. But then you have 3 Bullet Train. This is the main way that you maintain card advantage. If he's in hand, you can summon him if you only control Earth Machines. And then if you send to the graveyard this turn, you can add any machine from grave to hand. So you can add back any of these guys. If you add back box, it triggers. And that's just the main way that you like stay in the game or like hold your lead kind of thing. But then he has 3,000 attack points, which you just get to pop 3 cards with EMR. So if you go EMR, pop 3, add a guy in the end phase, you just like can't lose. It's so hard for like any deck really to recover from that. But yeah, Bullet Train. Keep in mind, it's first line attacks. You can't attack unless you send 2 other cards you control the grave. However, if it's negated, you don't have to do that. So with Bullet Train, or with Anger Knuckle, you can summon it back and then it is negated. So there you go. But with Bullet Train and Anger Knuckle, you essentially have an infinite like resource loop in that Anger Knuckle can revive Bullet Train. If they kill the train, it adds a guy. If they don't kill the train, then you can just send it with Anger Knuckle to revive the Anger Knuckle, and you just have essentially infinite cards that way. So I think it's really good. Then last real card's the Ruffian Railcar. This guy isn't great, but he's one of the few ways to like add Bullet Train. If he's sent to the graveyard during the end phase, you can add a level 10 Earth Machine. It's the only target. But by including him, it's just another level 4 Earth Machine that you can add with Augur, or add with Iron Wolf when it dies. So it just made a lot. It gave you a lot more ways to get to this guy. So it increased the speed of the deck by quite a bit by adding like a slightly inoptimal card into your deck. Then for defensive cards, you have 3 Chalice, 3 Book of Moon. I chose to run these because they're the most versatile, being quick play spells. Yeah, basically just going first or second, they like do something. And I didn't really want to run like trap cards because I just think they're really slow. And the only trap card I really like this format is Torrential, but I don't like Torrential in this deck because it conflicts with your boss stage and it conflicts with armor because you kind of just need this guy to like live. So these cards, I felt like you were never really like throwing cards away when you're using them. Like, admittedly, they're -1s, but the way this deck works is all of your other cards are so good at keeping card advantage that you could afford to run cards like this. And then MST, kind of the same thing, but it's also really good specifically versus your opponent's boss stage because you can just draw phase, Typhoon it when they try to use its effect, so that you don't have to deal with that. But that's the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, you have Geargia, Grand Pulse, and Soul of Silver Mountain. Geargia just helps you clear big monsters. Grand Pulse is MST with attack points, and quite a few defense points as well. But then this card is bananas. It takes 2 level 3 Earths, so there you go. But its effect is you can detach 1, target a set spell trap your opponent controls, and they can't activate it while Silver Mountain's on field, which is already like fine enough. But second effect is if Soul of Silver Mountain destroys an opponent's monster by battle while this card has XYZ material, you can just summon any Earth monster from your grave in defense. So with MK2, the Tour Guide combo requires you to have Arsenal and Grave anyway. So you'll go make Soul, attack a guy, summon an Arsenal, and then you can just use Arsenal in main 2, summon an Armor, and you just get way ahead in that way as well. Moving on to rank 4s, you have Nyarla. This guy seems random, but I think he's necessary. When he's XYZ summoned, you can discard any number of cards, increase this card's level, or this card's rank by the number of cards discarded. Basically, it's just a way to discard Bullet Train when you're playing Generators, because you can only summon this when you only have Earth Machines. So I just needed a way in the extra deck to like discard cards, and this is just the best way to do that. And then its other effect isn't bad either. You can detach everything and then attach something from your grave to Nyarla, and then it becomes the type and attribute of what you like equip. So you can equip a train from your grave, and then it becomes an Earth Machine. And then you can just like link this away into Anger Knuckle, and then trigger the train that way. Then you have Diamond Crab King, which just 3,000 attack points. This guy attacks for 1,000,000 damage. This guy's a machine, and he's like half a Castell. Then this guy's like Farfa in the extra deck, if you want to think about it that way. But you target a monster your opponent controls and banish it until their next standby phase. You mainly make this when you're trying to just kill them. He has 2,400 attack points, which is pretty decent all in all. And then 2 Iron Wolf. Again, this is just a machine. Its main effect is like when it dies, you get to add a level 4 machine from deck to hand. But its like detach effect isn't bad either, where you can just target a machine you control and then it can attack directly. So it's at 22, but you can target things like Googly Eyes, Drum Dragon, whose effect is you detach 1 and then it gains 1,000 attack, so it's just 4,000 direct. So there you go. Then the last XYZ monsters, you have 9 Lives Cat. It's just the only viable rank 9, and you need like something for the generators, so that's just the best thing. Then for the links, you have Generaider Transverser. It just has a generic link to. It's the best one. It's also a rock, so it combos with this guy. He can contribute rocks as well. Soul of Silver Mountain is also a rock, so there you go. And then this guy is just how you create the infinite resource loop with Bullet Train. You can't use it as link material, which like sucks, but it's just good enough where you like have to run it anyway. And then you have Berserker the Tenyi, which is 3,000 attack points and is a vanilla monster. But it's a worm, so it can combo with this in theory, but like that has yet to come up. But anyway, that's the deck. If you have any questions about it, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to just steal this deck card for card. I know you want to. I know you want to. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.